Hello everyone, what is up? It is me, AlbyMTG. It's time for this month's Patreon video. This one's going to be a little bit different than what I've done before. I have an idea for something I want to do to kind of change up the Patreon page. And so I kind of want to, ask my patrons about this before making the change, obviously. I want to kind of get their opinion, see what they think about it. And of course, this is the time where we also celebrate the patrons as well. We get some cards here to send out to them, and we're just gonna say thank you to each of them because they really do help support the channel. They're fantastic, fantastic people. And so a big shout out and thank you to BadWolf MTG, also known as Nicole, Down Under MTG, also known as Hayden, James, Jason, Jeremy, and Rodrigo for being my patrons for the month. Greatly, greatly appreciated. So the change that I'm thinking about making to the Patreon page concerns the people who are at the $5 or $12 tier. The tier is where we send out cards every month. The idea that I was thinking about changing was the reason that this Patreon video took a little bit longer for me to be able to upload was because for Jason and for Hayden, I needed to acquire some playsets of some cards, and this month is our Ravnica Allegiance, kind of like, I don't want to say celebration again, but like, it's the month after Ravnica Allegiance came out, so we're sending away cards from the newest set. Every card that you're going to see here today that we're sending out is from Ravnica Allegiance. But it took me a while, much longer than I had hoped for, to acquire all of these playsets. So I'm kind of thinking about making a change to the how we send out these cards. Instead of doing sort of just like a random card out of totally random selection of cards that we send to you guys each month, what if we did something that was more, I guess, attuned to the channel, had something to do with the channel? So what I was kind of thinking was I can do these Patreon only, polls on the Patreon page. So we could do something like I'll list off 3 to 5 cards, something like that. You guys can vote for which card, and then everyone would get that card for the month. Do something like that instead of just needing to acquire like a bunch of different play sets of things. I could just find one card that I can focus on acquiring several of. That would make things quite a bit easier. And again, it would have something to do with the channel. So something that I was thinking about, like for next month, for example, right now since I'm competing in the MTG Content Creators Community Cup, it would probably be some sort of a card from that deck because that means something to the channel. I'm doing fairly well in it so far, and it's I'm progressing through it quite nicely and showing you guys how I'm doing throughout each and every step of the Content Creators Cup. So it would probably be something from my deck each month in that one for the first 3, and then maybe as the months go on, we'll have you guys pick out like a favorite video or something like that, and we'll pick the cards from those videos. So an example of something would be like in my current deck, maybe cards like Rhythm of the Wild or Gruul Spellbreaker, Incubation Druid. Those are cards that are pretty, pretty essential to the deck that I'm playing right now in the Content Creators Community Cup. So maybe have you guys vote on those, and then Jeremy and Jason, or not Jeremy and Jason, Hayden and Jason, sorry about that, Hayden, we would send you guys off a playset of whatever card was chosen from the list, and then for everyone else, we would just send off one copy then of the card from the list. I don't know, let me know what you guys are thinking about it. But yeah, like I said, let me know what you guys are thinking about it. Without further ado, we'll go ahead and hop into the fun part of the video, which is the fact that we get to send off some cards to you guys. So we're actually going to start off with Jason and Hayden this time. They're receiving the playsets, and then for the playsets here, we have 6 different cards from Ravnica Allegiance that they could potentially earn a playset of. They could earn a playset of Absorb, which again is a fantastic counterspell. Let me move this out of the glare here. So for 1 white, 2 blue, you got counter target spell, gain 3 life. Pretty nice. Then we have the launch weekend, or draft weekend promos, the Simic Ascendancies here. Again, I apologize for the glare. Let me see if I can cover that up a bit. Maybe that sort of works. The Simic Ascendancy here, these are foils, so it would be a full foil playset of the draft weekend promo Simic Ascendancies. After that, we have a playset of Hero of Precinct 1. Fantastic card right now in Standard. Very, very good card. 2 mana, 2/2. Whenever you cast a multicolored spell, create a 1/1 white human creature token. Very nice. Next up would be a playset of Lavinia Azorius Renegade. Lavinia is quite the strong card in Eternal formats. Legacy and Vintage is where she really shines. Not so much in Standard, but for the Eternal players, a playset of Lavinias would be, quite a good playset to have. Next up, we have Pestilent Spirit. This card's just really sweet. I love the idea behind this, that instant and sorcery spells you control have Death Touch. That's such a unique ability, and I really like it. And then finally, our last one is, again, another good 2-drop in Standard, the Growth Chamber Guardian. You could potentially be earning a playset of one of those as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to shuffle these up, do them nice and random like we always do. And then for the cards for Hayden and Jason that don't get picked, I'll take one card from each of those playsets and move them also into the piles for Nicole, Jeremy, and Rodrigo to potentially get their hands on one of those as well. And then I have some other cards that I have, singles of for those three as well to potentially earn here. So we're going to start off here with Hayden, and we'll see what Hayden's getting here for his playset of the month. These should be nice and shuffled now. We'll give them a couple cuts here. We'll go for this one right here. All right, Hayden, your playset of cards for the month from Ravnica Allegiance is going to be the Simic Ascendancy. So these again were the draft weekend promos, all foil here. So we'll grab another Simic Ascendancy. Grab another Simic Ascendancy, and finally the last Simic Ascendancy. So again, draft weekend promo Simic Ascendancy is very cool. Congratulations, Hayden. And then next up we have Jason. Again, we'll do some shuffling here for Jason, see what he can end up walking home with this month. Hopefully a pretty sweet one. And that should be a good little shuffle here again. We'll go down towards the bottom. We'll go with this one right here. So this one for Jason. Jason, your playset for the month is going to be Lavinia Azorius Renegade. So not too bad. Very nice legacy and vintage card. She's seeing play right now as a 3-of, sometimes even 4-of, in basically any blue-white deck. Sometimes even the Dredgevine sort of strategies that they have in vintage, where you're playing like Hollow Ones and Survival of the Fittest. It's a crazy deck, but I've even seen people playing Lavinia in those decks because, again, it's just a really, really powerful card in these Eternal formats. So again, we will pull out the playset of Lavinia's here for Jason. There you go, Jason. So Simic Ascendancy promos for Hayden. Lavinia's for Jason, and then I will take one Absorb, one Pestilent Spirits, one Hero, one Growth Chamber Guardian. I think that's everything. Yeah, that's everything. So I will then put those in here for what Nicole and Jeremy and Rodrigo could potentially earn. So we'll show off the cards now that they could end up walking home with. They could get an Absorb, Pestilent Spirit, Hero of Precinct 1, Growth Chamber Guardian, a Rakdos the Showstopper, nice little mythic here from Ravnica Allegiance, Ethereal Absolution, sweet little commander card here, Biomancer's Familiar, just a very, very cool card, Tithe Taker, nice little card here as well, Bedevil, again, cool little removal spell, Gutter Bones, I believe Nicole's playing those in her deck for the Community Cup right now as well, so she might be walking home with a card that she's currently playing in her deck, which would be kind of cool. Repudiate Replicate, this is the split rare for Simic. We have a Rixmati Reveler, very nice card, sees quite a bit of standard play. Precognitive Perception, again, just a decent little card here. And then the big item for them to potentially be winning would be a Planeswalker here in the form of Domri Chaos Bringer. So just a couple of decent little cards here that they could be potentially walking home with one of each of those. So again, we'll shuffle those up, and we'll go in the order of Nicole, Jeremy, and then Rodrigo to see what they will be walking home with for this month. Again, like I said in the comment section, guys, let me know what card or what you guys think about the idea that I had brought up before. Another thing that I kind of like about that idea is that you're guaranteed to get something that's like super playable. I know there's like a couple cards in here that sometimes don't necessarily fit with they're more niche cards, I guess I should say. Like almost an example of that would be like the card that Jason won here. So like for Lavinia here, like it sees legacy play, but it sees legacy and vintage play, but I don't play a ton of legacy and vintage myself. So potentially maybe Jason or maybe the rest of my patrons don't really play a ton of legacy and vintage, and so the Lavinia probably doesn't mean as much to them as like something that maybe they would get to throw in their standard deck right away or throw in their modern deck right away, something like that. So I think that if we switch over to this other system, the cards that I would pick out would be like guaranteed playable stuff, and then you guys could vote for cards that could potentially go right into the decks that you guys already own or you're thinking about building. So I think that could be a nice little change. But again, be sure to let me know down below in the comment section what you guys think about it, and we'll see what you guys think. So okay, it's time. We'll go ahead and pick a card here for Nicole. We'll go with this one here, third from the top for Nicole. Nicole, your card for the month is the Biomancer's Familiar. Pretty sweet little card here from Ravnica Allegiance. After Nicole, we're looking at Jeremy. We'll see what Jeremy walks home with here. We'll go third from the bottom this time here for Jeremy. Jeremy, you are getting the Precognitive Perception. Pretty sweet little card there, again, for Jeremy. And then last card for the month, Rodrigo. We'll try and get a decent card here for you. Again, shuffle these up nice and good here. And we'll go towards the middle. We'll go for this one right here. Alright, so last card for the month, Rodrigo, your card is the Repudiate Replicate, the Simic rare here. I really like this card. I think this card's pretty sweet, so that's a nice little one there for you, Rodrigo. So again, Biomancer's Familiar, Precognitive Perception, and Repudiate Replicate. And then for Jason and Hayden, we had a Lavinia Azorius Renegade playset, as well as a Simic Ascendancy playset. So again, thank you so much to my patrons for supporting me on the channel. It means a lot. It's super crazy. Again, I know I say it like every Patreon video, but I'm still amazed that people are willing to support me like this. It's super crazy, and I really appreciate it. So again, thank you, Nicole. Thank you, Hayden. Thank you, James. Also at the $1 tier, I appreciate you as well, James. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Jeremy. And thank you, Rodrigo, for supporting me on the Patreon page. Thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video as well. I greatly appreciate it, and I'll see you guys here next time.